So here we are, several months later with the Galaxy Fold 6, and I can genuinely say, even though I've reviewed other devices like the iPhones, of course, Pixel devices, of course, I found myself every single day at the end of the day still coming back to the Galaxy Fold 6. It's for a long list of different reasons, and a lot of the time even responding to you guys in the comment section, respond to a few comments before I go to sleep to let you guys know that I'm here and I hear you. This thing has been by my side every single day for that span of 4 or 5, it's not quite 6 months, but in that ballpark range. And for every single day of those several months, I can genuinely say that the Galaxy Fold 6 has ticked off basically every box that I'm personally looking for in a phone. Now, it is not perfect, and there are definitely things that you guys should know about if you're looking to pick up one of these around this holiday season time for yourself that I'll discuss a little bit later, but as a whole cohesive package, there's still a lot to love about the Galaxy Fold 6 all these months later. As concisely as possible to sort of walk you through my life experience with the Galaxy Fold 6 over these last few months, all of the ins and outs, the ups and downs, the diagonals, and all of the ways that this is not quite perfect, but still excels in a lot of ways that makes this a complementary piece of tech on a day-to-day basis for everything that I need, and hopefully for everything that you guys need too. So if you guys are new here, my name is Dave, and this is where tech meets lifestyle. Alright, so right now I'm actually recording for the Pixel 9, and a really underrated function of the Galaxy Fold 6 is that I can use it as a kickstand to prop up different devices if I don't have a kickstand or like a phone holder standy thingy. This is definitely a nice function and just one of the many various means of flexibility that this helps me out on a day-to-day basis. The new Snapdragon processor, the screen size, you guys know all that stuff from like the first review videos that first came out. Practical real-life world implications, right? For this YouTube thing, using this massive display as a secondary display is immensely helpful, especially not filming at home, for example, but when I go out, if I'm filming in, say, the car, at a park. Having something like this that can accentuate my lifestyle in that additional way is amazing. I mean, this is just hard to beat. Now, what I can say is that the Fold 5 can also do this, because the crease is significantly reduced compared to the Fold 5. When I'm looking at the middle segments on the screen, the glare isn't really bending off of that middle portion of the display. Functionally, that is an improvement, and it's something that I definitely do appreciate using this over the Fold 5. Having my phone be the secondary display, so I'm not lugging around another external display, is kind of nice. I have a MacBook Pro that's right over there that I use as my desktop, and it's great because I can take it out of the home and edit on the go and all of those things. But again, this is with me all of the time, and I don't need to bring a MacBook Pro to do that dedicated thumbnail editing. I can just take this out of my pocket, open it up. I've been numerous times at the grocery store waiting in line. I can literally just pull out my phone and just start editing a thumbnail. By the time I get home, it's basically already done. And so having that flexibility in a device that's with you all the time and easily fits into your pocket, for me personally, on a day-to-day basis, is just immensely invaluable. I've dropped this thing way more than I would like to drop a phone that costs this much, right, and that does this much for me. What I can say is that I have had absolutely no problem. Things are just as smooth today as they were months ago when I first pulled this out the box. I can genuinely say that the hinge mechanism is still just as sturdy, as you guys can see right there. Moving it up and down, it's still holding nice and strong. And by this time on the Galaxy Fold 5 and the Fold 4 before it, I was starting to hear like the crackles in the hinge. Here, the hinge is just as quiet as the first day that I pulled it up, and no scuff scratches or anything inside of the internal display. Taking it to the beach, dropping it on concrete. As a whole, I can say that Samsung has done a great job making this premium device also durable, which, for the record, they absolutely should for the money that you pay for these. But just because you pay a lot of money for something doesn't always necessarily mean it kind of like follows through that way. But what's nice, the peace of mind, this absolutely has in my experience so far. The Lull mattress has been amazing. We actually just recently moved into a new place. Unwrapping it and then it just sort of unfolding made this entire process really easy. I think that like the premium memory foam has been really, really comfortable, and it's firm too. It's not like you're just sinking directly into the mattress. It's firm, so you're getting really good support while you sleep too. What do you think?
It is difficult adjusting to sleeping in a new apartment, but it's been really nice having a comfortable mattress.
Yeah.
It does really help.
I remember that when we first were looking to move it around, you pointed out the handholds on the side.
I noticed it because Dave can lift the mattress, but I can't. So having Handles, very helpful. We've had to move the mattress multiple times in trying to figure out the configuration of our room. Honestly made a world of a difference. It's been so helpful in trying to maneuver it.
You nailed that. That was awesome. Lull has a 365 night stress-free trial. You have free shipping, super easy return process, and also, I think it was like a lifetime warranty, right? Having that peace of mind that Lull stands behind their mattress because they believe in the thing that they're selling is awesome. So I'll have links in the description down below for you guys so you can get lulled to sleep. That's so bad. With your new Lull mattress. If I can be completely honest with you guys, I have not played a game on my phone in quite some time. Life has just been super duper busy between work stuff, moving, and a whole bunch of other miscellaneous things. But gaming on the Galaxy Fold 6 as a cohesive package has by far been my favorite phone experience as a whole of any of the phones that I've used over this last year, except maybe the Pixel Fold 2, that might be like a close contender. But even there, because of the way that the screen was set up, sometimes you would get like the little bars at the top that would kind of make things just a little bit less immersive. But even then, the screen there is awesome. The speakers there are really good. And one of the things that I can say that I have noticed specifically on the Galaxy Fold 6, the speakers as a whole are really good, though at the very peak high ends, they can become a little bit tinny, a little bit too sharp, depending on what it is that's happening on the screen at a given time. In my experience, you can have it around like that 90, and that's fine. But still, gaming is great. And I know ever since the iPhone 15 Pro Max came out, all of the throttling issues that was having, I know even the original Pixel Fold, that got exceptionally warm and hot. As a whole, I can say that the Galaxy Fold 6 honestly never becomes so hot to the touch that it becomes super uncomfortable to hold the way that the original Pixel Fold and the iPhone 15 Pro Max did. It will get warm, especially depending on the games that you are playing. If you're really pushing things at like the maximum fidelity, maximum frame rate, right? For example, like say Genshin Impact. In some instances on games like Punishing Gray Raven, where you're really pushing the pixels on this will get warmer. But in my experience, never so hot that it becomes uncomfortable to hold. It includes even times when I've gone to the beach or it was really hot outside. This as a whole has done a great job in terms of thermals. So a big question always is the battery life. And this is something that initially I did notice a bit of an improvement over the Galaxy Fold 6. And so like in a vacuum, when I was directly comparing it, I was like, oh, the battery life is a bit better. I'm definitely happy about that. But then I picked up the Pixel 9 Pro, the Pixel Fold 2, this year's Pixel Fold. And what I found is that actually had a better battery life on average on a day-to-day basis than my Galaxy Fold 6 did. Now, ultimately, I went with the Galaxy Fold 6 because the Pixel Fold 2, got a tremendous amount right. They really did a great job stepping up the hardware, and ultimately the entire package of the Pixel Fold 2 was excellent. However, software-wise, things were still just flat out limited where you couldn't do multiple screens. The multitasking, versatility, flexibility that you have here on the Galaxy Fold 6 was simply put just lacking on the Pixel Fold 2. Not everybody's going to need those things, but for me on a day-to-day basis, those are things that I use all of the time. But battery life-wise, really on this, I'm getting maybe 6.5 hours, 6 to 6.5 hours worth of screen on time. And for me, that's one of those things where I have chargers available to me at most points throughout the day, and so it never really becomes a nuisance. But when directly comparing to say like my iPhone 15 Pro Max or using a 16 Pro Max, 24 Ultra, those phones that you really can just pick it up, take it off the charger at the beginning of your day, not have a problem. It is one of those things that I wish the battery life here was better. Flat out, it could be better. And the Pixel Fold 2 proves that you can have good battery life in a phone form factor like this, right? Where that was closer to like 7.5 hours worth of screen on time. But if above all other things, you want a battery champ or a phone, you don't have to worry about charging it throughout your day, this unfortunately is not going to be the phone for you, even though it does so many other things right. You're going to need to charge this probably pretty much at least once per day, I would say. Now for pictures, this is one of those things where on a day-to-day basis, I can genuinely say as a whole, the Galaxy Fold 6 takes very competent, solid pictures of different subjects, especially the portrait mode. It's really impressive how much detail you're getting out of the Galaxy Fold 6, especially when comparing it straight up to like the 50 megapixel sensor or like the 200 megapixels that you're getting on the iPhone 15 Pro Max, 16 Pro Max, the Galaxy S23, 24 Ultra. When you go from those and then come back to this, that's one of those things that depending on your lifestyle usage, you are going to miss. For me personally, that's one of those things where this takes solid enough pictures for me on a day-to-day basis, especially with that 8K video, which still looks really good on this. That, I think they did a really good job with. The 4K 60, 8K video on this, it's still hands down really impressive, but you might miss some of the higher quality, like low light shots that you're getting out of Pixel devices, iPhone devices, or the other flagships in Samsung's lineup with the Ultra series, right? And that's one of those things that's really going to depend on you. Is that something that you really need or want out of your phone on a day-to-day basis? For me, I would like if the cameras were better on here, and fingers crossed that they are with the Galaxy Fold 7. However, because of everything else that this does as a cohesive package and the way that this helps me on a day-to-day basis that I need and use more often than the cameras, I can kind of live with it, but I can acknowledge that they could be better. You know what I mean? You have multitasking, which this does exceptionally well. This is something that, in my experience, I found did much better than the Pixel Fold 2 because that phone does a lot right, but what it doesn't do right is that the extent of multitasking that you have is just being able to split your screen directly in half. And for someone like myself, and in most instances, just having it split in half is definitely enough for a large majority of people. But for me personally, having the 3 windows, being able to have 2 windows, being able to have bubble windows on top of splitting the screen, as well as the gestures that you have on the Galaxy Fold 6. Like for example, right here, I'm just gonna show you guys. As soon as I wanna start multitasking, I can just swipe like that, and then say I wanna open Amazon. Boom, it really is that easy. And there's a range of other gestures that you have on the Fold 6 that you just don't have on the Pixel Fold 2, even though that phone is in some ways better than the Fold 6, depending on what it is that you are looking for. I do have that video that I have linked right up here for you, right up one of these 2 corners for you guys. But the multitasking for me is a really big deal, especially when I'm filling out, say like invoices or need to refer to, say like PDFs, or say I'm trying to fill out certain forms. So I have one side with my sheet information, then I could just copy, hold, and drag over to the next window. And all of that stuff is just really helpful on a day-to-day basis. So multitasking here and the cohesiveness and flexibility of the multitasking on a day-to-day basis, hands down, I haven't used a foldable yet, I think, that matches the Galaxy Fold 6 and the way that it handles multitasking on a day-to-day and moment-to-moment basis. I think that pretty succinctly kind of condenses all of my thoughts on the Galaxy Fold 6 over these last few months. Is it perfect? No, not at all. I don't think there's a perfect phone on the market right now. To this day, just still does everything that I needed to, and that's why it's been so difficult for me personally to put it down, even when I have been looking at and reviewing all of these other devices. It just kind of checks off all of the boxes for me that are important and necessary on a day-to-day basis. And if I were to put it down, I genuinely would be missing all of the things that it offers me on a day-to-day basis. But thank you guys so much again for stopping by and hanging out. I wish you a fantastic remainder of your day, afternoon, or night, depending on the time it is you are watching this. And as always, let me see. Peace, even though this wasn't really a part of the video for much. Love, adios, bye guys, and have a great day.